Hi class, my name is Vanessa. I'm sure all of you guys already know that. But so today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Engstrom Auto Mirror plant, motivating in good times and bad. This was for Module 5. It's due tomorrow. So I just want to give a quick review of what this article was about, what this case study was about. So basically, Engstrom is a supplier. They manufacture mirrors for trucks and automobiles. At the time, they had 209 employees. So basically, there was a crisis at the plant, and it wasn't just the first time that this was happening, but it was actually, they were on the third time. I believe it was in 2 weeks. That they were facing serious downturn and was experiencing slow performance. So there was definitely a delay in sending the product out to customers on time, and it talked about one of their customers being Toyota, was a very high demand customer that I assume paid them really well, and they were just basically really demanding of them, so they had to be on their game. And so this guy named Ben, he basically was hired as the plant manager after the previous one he quit, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So he was hired to kind of turn this thing around and to get their company back up and running. And so he was pretty much, he was a little nervous because, Toyota being such a big customer for them, he not only knew that they were experiencing this downturn to get the product out, and he was, they were paying a lot of freight charges to ship the mirrors and to ship this stuff overseas, and the thought of them shipping, because they also had a quality issue, so he was just like freaking out because he's like, wow, okay, well, we have this downturn issue, and now we have quality issues as well. So they might be sending defective mirrors to really high demand customers. So there was a lot going on right now, and a lot of pressure that this guy was facing, and everybody in his management team, the employees were upset. So there's this one of the ladies named Haley. She was part of their their management team, and she worked closely with Ben, and she had a really good relationship with the people, in the warehouses in the plant. And she was telling him, the employees are upset, they're mad, they're frustrated because I guess they weren't receiving their bonuses. So there's a bonus plan in place, but yet they weren't getting it for several months. So they were pretty ticked off, which could be the cause of this downturn in the business. So, and they were also covered by the union, which doesn't make things easier because they always the union is good because they fight for the employees, so that is a good, but it could also be a real headache to business owners. So as time went on, Ben, he's looking at the business and seeing what the processes are, and he started, he wants to pay these workers more money for their performance, right? You do a good job, and you kind of expect, hey, well, I've been working, my tail off. How many of us have said that before? We want a raise, right? Because you feel like you're working hard and stuff. Although I know the Bible says, work as if you're working unto the Lord and not to man. So I don't know where that whole raise would fit in. I don't know. Anyways, that's a whole new subject. So back to this. So basically, Ben, he studied another plant who went through a similar crisis. So, it was marked by low morale, and he came up with a solution to build a Scanlon plan at the plant. The employees were, again, they were outraged for not getting their bonuses, so he had to come up with something quick. And so the Scanlon plan is actually the oldest plan still used in the U.S. It's a plan where employees get paid bonuses, and is supposed to motivate employees to work smarter, not harder. The heart of these plans is the concept of participative management. They believed individuals would work hard to help achieve their organization goals and to take responsibility for their actions and apply their skills. So Engstrom, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This plant has been there since 1948, and they've pretty much enjoyed success since. It wasn't until the 1990s that things didn't go smoothly when they started to incorporate new technology. So I know for my business, I kind of relate to that because we had some new technology put in place, and it was a total wreck. So many customers, they were irritated because now that this new plan was in place, it just, the manager at the time wasn't sophisticated enough to kind of deal with the problems that rose with this change. So he ended up kind of quitting. Customers were alienated, they were irritated, and it just wasn't looking good for Ekstrom at that time. So that's eventually, the other guy who was working there, he resigned, and that's when Ron Bent was hired to attempt this turnaround. Ron Bent believed in incentive programs and wanted to establish one at the plant, and he experienced an incentive plan to reward individuals for their performance, but it did not go very well. So the union, at that time, the union always figured out a way to beat that rate. So he knew that that wasn't the right way to go. He felt a Scanlon plan was the best way to go for Engstrom. He did not want many incentive plans for Engstrom since it was too small of a company and it wouldn't be able to really handle multiple incentive plans. He began to work with his management team on the Scanlon concept and posted information about Scanlon on the bulletin boards. He communicated tad bits of what they were planning to do with the employees, not leaving them in the dark. He even organized a trip for a group of workers to visit another plant that implemented Scanlon. So this trip, to the other plant went well because these guys came back to their plant and was enthused about this Scanlon. So he made the announcement about adopting this plan to the workers, and in 1999 it was presented to all employees and management, and they voted. 81% of them voted that they wanted the Scanlon bonus plan agreement. One of the agreements was labor savings would be split 75% to employees, 25% to the company. Who would want to, disagree on that, right? So basically, they wanted to motivate the employees to excel, not just to perform poorly. They came to an agreement for a fair ratio, which was set at 38.0%. So the type of leadership skills that I saw, at least, in Rob Bent was he inspired the vision for the plant. He had a vision of the Scanlon, plan to be implemented in the program, which kind of turned things around, right? So he's thinking, well, let's get this program in place for our employees. Let's credit their hard work. And so he went off of previous learning experiences, which helped shape the way for the Scanlon plan to be established. He enabled others to act by organizing a field trip to another plant to connect with others and learn about the Scanlon plan and how it works. This plan worked because they came back feeling confident about it. He also encouraged the heart by giving these bonuses to the employees and rewarding those who excel in their performance. He had great communication with the rest of his management team and the employees by posting the Scanlon info to the bulletin for them to see. Many times people get frustrated when they're left in the dark and they don't know what's going on. So he definitely was a team player, despite the frustration and the pressure that he was feeling. He didn't cave in. Also, Haley, she also showed great communication and built good relationships with the employees. This helps to know what they're feeling and what the mood is in the workplace. It helps management know what actions to take and how they can improve on the processes or kind of building up their team. So that's all I got for you guys. I can't wait to hear the rest, and I know that my other team members, we're going to we've been collaborating on this story, so I can't wait to hear what you guys have next.